Okay, everybody, here we go. It looks like we are live and we have a few things to talk about. As you know, I'm going to do these midday market reports and talk about commodities and whatever else you guys want to throw at me. I think it'll be interesting here, and I hope you have some questions for me as we move forward. So, with that said, let's start off with the market. It's a very volatile day. Stocks have been up, stocks have been down. uh, every word that's coming out of Washington and the Pentagon is being focused on. A lot of saber rattling going on here. Okay, that does seem to be the situation. Imagine my shock. Imagine your shock. Um, I don't think a single one of you is surprised about what you're seeing. Things do appear to be unraveling, literally unraveling here, and it's not at all by accident. I think this is evident, and I would have to believe that we're all on the same page with this. But we did get some interesting and almost kind of laughable, a laughable statement from Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin stands ready to supply, well, whoever they want. In this case, it's Ukraine with what are quickly becoming obsolete F-16 fighter jets, and I'm sure that's going to be good for the stock, don't you think? It makes me laugh. It really does, honestly. But anyway, what else did you expect in this freaking thing? With that said, I want to cover some commodities with you. Number one, I want to cover natural gas. This stuff has been unbelievably volatile as of late, and right now it's not doing very well, down about 7%. I still think there's a lot of upside here. Again, we covered this before, and I keep getting questions about this. When any asset falls like this, you should expect some volatility as we're trying to find a bottom here. You want to go nuts here, you could jump in and just hold on to this for a while, but expect your portfolio to, not make you too happy for a little while. It's very difficult. In fact, anyone that wants to play the game of picking tops and bottoms is you're in for a wild ride, a very wild ride. So that's the story with natural gas, extremely volatile. Crude oil, absolutely getting bid higher. WTI, which is the one most traders look at, is higher by over 1.5%. Gold and silver, gold down 0.69%, silver catching a bit up 0.75%. All right, look, let me ask you, do you really care what they want to do to the paper derivative that moves the hard asset? How does that work? Oh, you mean it's upside down? Yeah, it's upside down. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it is. With regard to corn and wheat, both of these catching a nice bid here. Now, copper has been under a little pressure lately, but catching a bid nonetheless right now, up 0.47%. People, with regard to commodities, you know what Greg Mannarino is going to tell you. I can't imagine that there's a much better place to be. If you understand, or if you agree with my thesis, which is eventually this whole thing is going to get very, very real. The debt market is time bomb, and it's being fueled here at a feverish pace, especially with this new opening salvos of World War III. That's where we're at. This is it, and central banks are determined to fulfill this. They're going to push us harder off the financial cliff, crushing the economy, strangling the consumer to death here. As they themselves continue to inflate. Now, the other side of their mouth, they're telling you how inflation is dropping. Really? Oh, how about no? Anyway, what else would you expect in this kind of thing here? So that's the story right now. The MMRI is back. A big shout out and thank you to John Rusk, who's the guy that helps me with this stuff, because really, people, I have no idea how to work this stuff. I barely know how to get online. That's the truth. Anyway, absolutely, the synagogue of freaking deception. All right, now with that said, let's use a few minutes here to, I just don't want to sit here and blab. All right, I want to cover what you think. Or how about this one? Question is the crypto bear market over? Well, if you recall, several weeks back, let's just talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was like 16.5. I said, hey, go check my videos. I said, I'm starting to turn bullish here. Is it over? Look, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say yes for the most part, but I'm also going to explain to you that this asset class is volatile to a freaking extreme. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Look, with regard to cryptocurrencies, this is a relatively new asset class. The market doesn't know what to do with it. On top of that, you got Wall Street with their big, ugly hands all over this stuff. I really had hoped that Wall Street would keep their hands off of it, but of course, they got to get their ugly hands into everything. And so we'll just see where that is. Look, if you want to get in here and hold any of these cryptos, you just expect volatility. If you can't handle it, then you need to put your cash somewhere else to work. Something with a lot less volatility, something that maybe will pay you to hold it. I like large cap stocks, dividend paying stocks. And look, if you believe like I do that we are moving more towards an all-out war situation here, you do want to look at energy companies, large cap energy companies that pay a dividend, defense stocks, absolutely, commodities, of course, financials, of course. This is the stuff you want to look at moving forward, and you cannot ever go wrong with these. You know that. All right, so let's move forward here. Mandatory, myocarditis. Unfortunately, there seems to be a lot more to this whole thing. People then, of course, they're never going to let people know. I think you know what I'm saying here, and I got to be careful because you know what they're going to do. They're going to deplatform me, and I don't feel like going anywhere. Although if they ever do that, look, I have a backup plan. I have a whole backup plan. If by some reason you don't see me here on YouTube anymore, what have I been telling you? I'm going to find another avenue to get this work out there. Just so you don't miss a beat, make sure you subscribe to my free newsletter. My free newsletter, link in the description of this video. There's also a link to the MMRI. There's a chat room on my website. I just had to open up more rooms in there. Get your spot in my chat room, people. I pay for that, and I got to pay to open up more spots. They fill up real fast. So, get in with that whole thing over there. Yeah, Rumble's definitely an opportunity here. I got that whole thing set up. So, like I said, we'll just see. Anyway, please explain how the denominator is derived on the MMRI. That's a trade secret, okay? All you have to know about the MMRI is it works. It's a real-time indicator which will clearly show you by number and color code where the risk lies in this market. And you know the situation here better than anybody, people. If the illusion of stability can be maintained, and this war or this expanding war is a large part of it. Again, I can't imagine another place where cash is going to go other than into the freak show stock market. And it's just going to get more freaking than it is now. It's already it's out there. It makes no sense at all. Nothing makes sense anymore. But that's exactly the golden ratio. Now, why would Greg Mannarino choose to use the golden ratio in the MMRI? Well, everything is based upon that golden ratio, and I mean every freaking thing. So it would only make sense if you think about it. Why I would use the golden ratio in the MMRI calculation. I think it works. I don't know another way to put it to you. I know most of you get it. Anyway, natural gas, I covered that earlier, but extreme volatility here, extreme volatility in natural gas. And when's the next drag race? Now, there's a question. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow, right here at the Las Vegas drag strip, I'm going to be racing my 69 Camaro. I've been dialing it in. I replaced most of the valve train recently. Once I broke the motor, I broke the damn thing. I bent 2 push rods. But this is a whole other thing. I'll get out there and I'll post a video about that. And then I got my Sox and Martin Cuda, which I know a lot of you Mopar heads out here are dying to see run. Actually, believe it or not, that's going to run tomorrow but that's going to be running at a track out in Arizona. So, but I'll have it here soon. Anyway, you're getting a build transmission brake. Trans brakes. I love trans brakes. I am addicted to trans brakes, but my CUDA's a stick. Anyway, I got a two-step launch for that thing. Yeah. Anyway, of course, Bank of Canada said they're done raising rates. Look, I think that, and I've talked about this, we're going to get a pause here, or something along the lines of a pause or a scaling back of central banks. I think, for example, come next month, it's highly likely. Now, don't lock me in here, all right? But I'm going to go out here on a limb since we're talking live. That the Fed is going to probably do a 25 basis point hike there. But inflation is still going to rise. Remember, it's not going to stop. And central banks are going to continue to use every mechanism you can dream about and think about and spray their shorts over to continue to inflate. Absolutely. Climate lockdowns. Interesting. Nothing would surprise me on that. Nothing. I mean, look, what do they want to do? They don't want people like you and I or anybody to congregate, because then we talk. They want people to, adopt some kind of a lifestyle where they're disconnected from society. All right. Another mechanism to keep people dumbed down. So nothing would surprise me. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely freaking nothing. Anyway, the Fed balance sheet. Thank you, Johnny. It's the Fed's balance sheet, the public one. Look, I told you a million times, go look at it. It's a farce. What you are not allowed to see is any of the action of any central bank, what they're doing off balance sheet. They have two balance sheets. We all know this. Most major corporations have two balance sheets, the public one and the one no one's allowed to see except, the big wigs over there. Anyway, that's right. This GDP report's a joke. It absolutely is a joke this morning. I mean, really. But again, why? What are they doing? Again, most people don't even have the slightest idea that government spending is calculated as part of GDP. So, I mean, we could shut down the economy, actually zero, and just have our government, which is really the Fed, spend as much as they want, and GDP would go higher. I mean, make this stuff up. Make any of it up. I dare you. I dare you to make any of it. Yeah, the missing cash. Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, what happened? You remember what happened? I didn't want to mention it with Rumsfeld. You remember that whole thing with the $3 trillion? You remember all that? What happened the next day? I'm going to leave it there, okay? And you guys could make this up for yourself. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are appreciating this live stream. I like to do it. I really do. Anyway, is it a bull trap? Well, it's a bull trap. That depends. That depends solely on a few factors here. Whether, again, the illusion of stability in the debt market can be maintained. It looks like that's going on here. Whether the relative strength of the dollar can be kept weak or where it is. What crude oil is going to do. And this war. This war has a lot to do where this market's going to go. I mean, again, what do you think is going to, if let's say this war continues to expand, what do you expect is going to happen to friggin' energy companies, energy itself, commodities as well here, defense contractors? How is this all going to play out? I mean, and then if we do get a breakout of, let's say, World War III, I think we're in the early stages right now, industrial output is going to skyrocket. And of course, there's another thing for the market that's bullish. Look back at World War I. Look back at World War II. I mean, it's going to play out the same way here, but there's a fly in the ointment. There's a fly in the ointment. I touched on this earlier today. The fly in the ointment is pretty simple to understand. Look, I think most of us who get it, okay, realize that they are moving rapidly to a new financial system. The current one is dying, henceforth why. Look, without the relentless acquisition and pulling of debt into the now, well, this whole thing just ends but fast. So that's why you're seeing more and more mechanisms be utilized to keep this debt bubble inflated. But at one point, what do we know? Every single bubble will eventually burst. No matter what they throw at it, it's eventually. And this bubble it's the mother of them all. It's the mother of them all by like a large margin. And it's something I think that you and I have definitely on the same page about. I want total economic collapse. Why? Look, don't, be careful what you wish for. I'm just, I'm quoting low blood pressure here. Look, the economy is already collapsing. All right, all this is just, it's just an illusion. The global economy continues to crater at its fastest pace in history. Regardless of these fake GDP numbers that they want to throw, strip out government spending and let's see where these GDP numbers really are. But yeah, we're moving towards that, people. Look, I believe this, and I touched on this. I think it was yesterday. We're going to start to see whatever numbers they're going to throw at you with regard to unemployment. Well, they're already not real. But we're going to start to see waves and waves and waves of people lose their jobs, and that's a setup for a depression. You understand? Um, you have to realize something. Just because the stock market seems to be defying gravity, even right now, doesn't necessarily mean that we are not already in some kind of a depression. Because the moment you, for example, any of you out here, lose your job, you're depressed, right? You enter how do you make ends meet? People are already maxed out here, maxing out their credit cards with debt surging out of control here. People are burying themselves. It's a terrible, terrible situation. It really is. And I really believe it's going to get a lot worse for everybody. And this is this. I mean, why do I believe that? Because this is what they're doing. They're telling us, look, believe what they're saying. The central banks, they're telling you that they're deliberately trying to slow the economy. And how do they can't just say, hey, we're going to slow the economy. Imagine if the narrative was, hey, we're going to crush the consumer. Then, you could see the freaks over on CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, so they changed their tune real quick. Wait a minute. Are we supposed to say that? Are we supposed to tell everyone that? No. It's the narrative. It's how they word it. Anyway, buy Camaros. What's your favorite year? 69. That's my favorite year. Always love the 69 Camaro. Anyway, people, this is getting kind of long here. So I'm going to end up cutting this out of here. Stack eggs. Let's see how we can stack eggs. That would be interesting. I think we should, obviously these are something that we need, but come on now. Yeah, Mad Max. I've been telling people that for the longest time. Yeah, a Mad Max scenario would make everyone happy, wouldn't it? And I'm joking here. All right, pretty much that's it, people. I'm gonna call this. We did a lot today, and I will see all of you later. You can count on it. My post-market wrap up, and I like these kind of live things. And, it was a shame. I tried it. A lot of people they didn't like them. I don't know why. I thought that people we're going to really like it. Seems like, look, but I'm trying to make everyone happy here. All right. I think that we can do this. I got those that don't like the live streams. I got them covered. Those of you that do, I got you covered too. We got each other's back because we are a team. We are a family. And I don't care where you live in the world. I swear to you, I run into people all the time. Hey, I know you. You're that guy, Greg, from YouTube. Yeah, it's me. Hey, I watch you all the time. I love that stuff. I feel like I know you guys and girls. I really do. All right, I'm out of here. See all of you at the end of the day, and I hope this has been good for you. Take care.